Well, no, I just said why. Here's the guy. We're being lied to, being told that he wants Russia back to a communist, KGB-style communism state.
And that's not really what it is.
If that was true, then Obama would be like, well, hell, let's just join forces. We'll turn the whole world into communism.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. But then what about the Muslim Brotherhood? What about ISIS? What about all those guys?
So there's almost this crazy, it's almost like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh, yeah.
He wants the caliphate. He wants the caliphate. He wants ISIS to take over and create this giant Ottoman Empire type thing. You know what it may be? Now I'm really getting conspiratorial. No, I'm not even conspiratorial. It's just a crazy theory. Possible. It makes sense to me strategically. If Obama wants to wage Cold War II in a world where he is the Soviet empire and Putin is the capitalist empire, what better way to undermine it than to grow a caliphate in your damn backyard?
Ooh. Wow.
He wants the terrorists to be big, powerful, and strong right next to Russia. Meanwhile, we're on the other side of the world, insulated from all that, or at least presumably.
Yeah,
but you know where my theory flies off the rails, don't you? It flies off the rails when you consider that he's trying to import all these Muslim refugees into America.
Large numbers of refugees, and his planned executive order. There's an article this past week that said the department of one of the governmental departments is now looking for a company to come up with 35 million like green cards. They want them to. They're looking to outsource this work to be able to create these green cards because they need 35 million of them.
We need somebody to outsource freedom so we can go there.
Right. No, I agree. So check this out. Donald Trump yesterday was in Biloxi, Mississippi, and it had a record crowd there. Apparently, everywhere he goes, 20 million, 25 million, 30 million people are showing up, and they're having to ship them off to the Coliseum because the stadium was too full. Or wherever he was at, that was too full. So they moved him to a different building. But anyways, this is what he had to say.
Hold on, real quick before we go any further. How many people did you say were showing up to these things?
25,000. Did I say million?
Oh, you said million.
Did I say million?
Yeah, you did. I'm like, is that for real?
I was stuck on the body.
Even
I was stuck on the body count.
They had 250,000.
I was stuck on
the body count. Right. No. Wait. We're not talking about Obama.
Right. No, 25,000. Wow. No, 25,000 showing up to these conventions and these rallies. And this is what he had to say about Obama, ISIS, Hilary, and leadership in 55 seconds.
In Tehran, they're burning down the Saudi embassy. You see that now.
Oh, hold on. Let me preface that part. Iran currently, within the past couple of days, are burning down the Saudi embassy in Tehran. That's the big news right now.
Okay.
Iran has just broken the treaty of the deal. That's not a treaty, but it was a deal. Broke the deal. So this is what Trump is talking about that, and links all this together.
In Tehran, they're burning down the Saudi embassy. You see that now. What that is Iran wants to take over Saudi Arabia. They always have. They want the oil, okay? They've always wanted that. You watch. I predicted a lot of things you have to say, including get the oil, take the oil, keep the oil. Right? I've been saying that for 3 years, and everybody said, oh, I can't do that. I mean, this is a sovereign country. There is no country. They have a bunch of dishonest people. They've created ISIS. Hillary Clinton created ISIS with Obama. But I love predicting because, ultimately you need somebody with vision.
But then there you go. You need someone with vision.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much nailed it on a lot of things. If you look at some of the things that he said, if there's anybody out there who wants to sit there and try to say that he's a Democrat in disguise, or he's always been a Democrat and he's just recently acting like a conservative and he's lying to you because in reality he's always been a Democrat. I mean, he's come out with articles that have been published in the editorial section of the New York Times back in the 80s that were totally conservative by today's standards and everything.
Well, and he was raised
I'm not
up
buying that crap.
Right. Well, he was kind of raised up in New York, though. And in New York, kind of like Rudy Giuliani, he's conservative, sort of, could be a blue, what do they call him, a blue dog Democrat?
Something like that, or Reagan Democrat or something like that.
Right.
But no, I think that we've made this argument on Smith Radio before, that when you're in the business world, it's like a game. Like any sport that you could do, like football or soccer or baseball or anything like that. And you have to try to win using the established rules and without breaking the rules.
Right.
And it just so happens that one of the ways that could help him win the game of business is to donate to certain parties, even parties that he doesn't even agree with. But if it helps him to win the game legally, then you would be negligent to not take advantage of those situations.
Early on, the very onset of the show, I had a sound clip where he was being interviewed by, the media talking head, Savannah, on NBC, and she brought up the whole thing about how the alleged, incident with Monica, and Trump's like, but he admitted, right. Well, then it's not alleged. But right. So she's getting all messed up.
Oh, yeah, I heard that soundbite.
And then she threw out there, at the end of the soundbite, so you said back in the 80s that the whole impeachment of Clinton was all trumped up and was just a distraction and was shouldn't have been done. Do you still believe that? And so he he stuttered a little bit, but then he said, I'm a businessman, world-class businessman. This is what I do. I get along with everybody. And she kept pressing him. He's like, Savannah, listen, I get along with everybody. But what I do, was my business, and there's pictures of him hanging out with Bill Clinton. There's pictures of Trump being around Democrats, obviously. If you are a businessman and you want to get business through, it's unfortunate, but the government is so tied into our capitalist system that you have to pay the piper. If you want to get something done.
Even if he's not involved in direct corruption, even if it's legal.
Oh, no, I'm not saying corruption. I'm not saying corruption. I'm saying legally sometimes you have to.
Legal.
Well, didn't you hear the thing with back to school with Rodney Dangerfield? But sometimes you got to grease the palms of the inspector to let you get through.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I mean, and sometimes what we're talking about is not even illegal. If it's not illegal for you not to take advantage of it, it would be negligent. But no, what I'm saying is, imagine. Let's think about this a little bit more sophisticatedly than just thinking, well, he's just handing them money so you get favors for them later on. Let's say that you want to present yourself in every single situation where you have to meet up with a president of another company or maybe even a president of another nation to do business and to negotiate a contract. If you have pictures of you hanging out with and shaking hands with the world leaders from around the world, you're going to bring with you more clout just by having those pictures available for people to see. And so for him to be hanging out with and glad-handing with Clinton back in the day would be part of that. Like, hey, I got to negotiate with a guy who we think is friends with the President of the United States,
Right, absolutely. Hey, check this out. I got the sound clip of Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, good.
There are two kinds of people in business today.
That's the professor.
And the dead. So rather than waste your time this semester with a lot of useless theories, we're going to jump right in with both feet and create a fictional company from the ground up. We'll construct our physical plant. We'll set up an efficient administrative and executive structure. Then we'll manufacture our product and market it. I think you'll find it very interesting and a lot of fun. So let's start by looking at construction costs of our new factory.
Okay, so they're sitting in class. They're sitting in this college classroom with this very dry professor who could be a communist. Could be. So Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah. So Rodney Dangerfield's like, what's the product?
That is immaterial for the purposes of our discussion here. But if it makes you happy, let's say we're making tape recorders.
Tape recorders? Are you kidding? The Japs will kill us on a labor course.
Okay, fine. Then let's just say they're widgets.
What's a widget?
It's a fictional product. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Tell that to the bank, you know.
Easy, Doc. It's just the first day, you know.
It's the first day of class.
You will see a cost analysis for construction of a 30,000 square foot facility, which will encompass both factory and office space, and is fully serviced by all utilities, a railroad spur line, and a 4-bay shipping dock.
Hold it. Why build? Hey, you're better off leasing at $1.25, $1.50 a square foot. Take your down payment and put it into CDs, or something else you can roll over every couple of months.
Thank you, Mr. Mellon. But we'll be concentrating on finance a little later in the term. For the time being, let's just concentrate on the construction figures, shall we? You will see the final bottom line requires the factoring in of not just the material and construction costs, but also the architect's fees and the costs of land servicing.
Oh, you left out a bunch of stuff.
There it is.
Oh, really? Like what, for instance?
Well, first of all, you're going to have to grease the local politicians for the sudden zoning problems that always come up. Then there's the kickbacks to the carpenters. And if you plan on using any cement in this building, I'm sure the teams would like to have a little chat with you, and that'll cost you. Oh, and don't forget a little something for the building inspectors. Then there's a long-term cost, such as waste disposal. I don't know if you're familiar with who runs that business, but I assure you it's not the Boy Scouts.
That'll be quite enough, Mr. Mellon. Maybe bribes and kickbacks and mafia payoffs are how you do business. But they are not part of the legitimate business world. And they're certainly not part of anything I'm teaching in this class. Do I make myself clear?
Sorry, just trying to help, that's all.
Now.
So that's his take. That's called Economics 101. And when you get a big government involved in a capitalist society, that's what you get. You got to deal with the unions.
Yeah, exactly the way he described it. Yeah, the Teamsters. If you want to have any concrete in this place, you're going to have to talk to the Teamsters.
Did you know who runs that thing? And I'm going to tell you, it sure ain't the Boy Scouts.
Right. Oh, my God.
And there's a lot of truth to that. Like, I've talked to your dad, and I know you have too, obviously, but we've talked to him extensively about some of the things that he went through and the things that he saw. He was non-union as management, but building nuclear power plants.
No. He was in the union for over 10 years. Actually, he technically never got out, but he was an actual laborer in the union for over 10 years.
Okay, so but the one job that he had where he stayed as management, and the rest of the union went out and went to strike. And they said the plant's no. The plant's running better with all of us guys running it and having none of you here.
I don't know why they didn't just stay on like that.
And they said if y'all want your jobs back, we're going non-union. Anybody that comes over here, you can have your jobs back. Everybody else fired. You got one day to do it, and do it. And maybe a couple people did it, but everybody else was fired. Nobody was hired back. None of the people that stayed in the union. So it was so bad because some of the things that I have seen being around the union, I've been in a union before, and some of the fraud, waste, and abuse is just absolutely insane. It's ripe for corruption. Anyways, that's my take on the unions and big government getting involved with capitalism. It don't work well.
No.
No, not at all. So